And we're back, everybody. My name is Dutch McAllister, and we're here with episode number 48. Something about the ordinary or something.
Avoiding the ordinary. That's what our good friend Bill Murray has said in the past. Avoid the ordinary.
And we're avoiding the ordinary because usually it's J.O. over there saying, and we're back. But this week, I did it. God bless America. Nowhere else. Jordan, that's your introduction. How you doing, buddy?
Do I also have to do a Foghorn Leghorn impression, or is that just you?
Do whatever you want, my friend.
Well, we are back here on a show about shows here. We're talking some recent movies. We're going to talk about David Spade's new Netflix movie, Scoob. We're going to talk some Bill Murray, obviously top 10, the man, the myth, the legend, Bill Murray. Got some news for you, some fun, some sad news for you, breaking news as well. We got a fun show for you guys today.
Well, I can't wait for it. You know what? I'll kick. You kick it off, or I can kick it off. You know what? I'll kick it off. Screw it. I'll kick it off. We're doing out the ordinary tonight. But anyway, the first film we're going to talk about is The Wrong Missy. And buddy, you don't want to pick the wrong Missy in this one because Tim thinks he's invited the woman of his dreams on a work retreat to Hawaii, realizing too late he mistakenly texts someone from a nightmare blind date. This one stars David Spade, Lauren Lapkus, Nick Swardsden, Rob Schneider, Molly Sims, Joe Anano, which is Roman Reigns. I don't care.
I know why, man. Come on. Are you not a wrestling fan? I know why.
Okay, Roman Leakey and
Sarah. Not even that was right.
Sarah Chalk. And I got to tell you, I was kind of going into this like, oh no, another Madison film. Oh no, another David Spade type film. And I was blown away because I set it so low. And it made me so happy while I was watching this film. Every ounce of it made me laugh. The tiny bit that Roman Reigns was in it made me even laugh even better. The whole cast just brought the A game on this one. Even Rob Schneider, who's just tiny bits here and there, brought the A game. I found this one, very funny. Lauren Lapkus just hit it out of the park with the crazy, and I was just, like I said, just gobsmacked by how fun. And this is a romantic comedy, so it was right up in there with my wheelhouse. I enjoyed it. Yeah, you go ahead, put your bullet in your brain, but I'm okay with it because you'll come back like Zombieland. I enjoyed every ounce of this film. There are some great scenes, but just I don't know, the crazy eyes of Lauren Lapkus throughout the whole thing just made it perfect for me. What did you think about this? I might have built it up too much. I don't know.
Yeah, you built this up a little tad too much, man. I didn't hate this. This to me is right in the vein of his movie from a couple years ago, Father of the Year. It's okay. It's going to pass an afternoon. Some laughs that I was with, and then some laughs I just found my eyes rolling hardcore here. You mentioned Rob Schneider. I'm sorry. Every time Schneider and Nick Swartzen, who I love and saw live last year and will go again this year if that happens, I just found them irritating. I didn't find either characters funny. This is not the Schneider that pops up in 50 First Dates. This is an annoying character that just isn't funny. It felt like there was nothing doing the script. I felt like they said, hey, Rob, show up for a couple days. We'll film some random shit with you. And no one ever thought of anything that funny. Same thing with Swartz in here. And I just didn't think anything was there for him either. I was annoyed every time they were on screen. Lapkus, who I'm a fan of, she was in that TV show Crashing with Pete Holmes that I loved. I think she's got a bright future, but it doesn't earn the twist too. You say it's a romantic comedy. This is a romantic comedy that does not earn the falling in love part. He hates her, and then just on a switch of a dime, because the script calls for it, all of a sudden he's in love with her. It doesn't earn that either. So.
See, this is where you and I will beg to differ in my mind. He did hate her out throughout the film. Don't get me wrong, but then he kind of saw her inner beauty that wasn't always shown outside, meaning the craziness. He found out there was a mental crazy, but it was also a loving crazy that he fell for. And what she did for him to help him, even though, she really bollocksed a few things up for him.
she bothers more than one thing. She was one of those characters that just everything was just over the top, which I guess that's the sense of humor they're going for here. And if you fall for it, then cool. I know my brother, I think, enjoyed this more than I did as well. So, there's gonna be an audience for this. This is another Happy Madison project that's just it's wavering in the mediocrity territory.
I read a review the other day about this after I read it today, actually, after I watched it all. And somebody says they want Adam Sandler back. These kind of films make you want Adam Sandler back in comedy. I'm like, what kind of meanness is that? I'm just saying. I'm not saying, though. What they're saying is the way they worded it was very mean, saying that I would rather have a crappy, Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston film, which we're going to get the second of, but that's what they would rather have than a David Spade. I thought David Spade did a great job.
Yeah, I have no problem with Spade. If anything, he elevates us a little bit. He's the most down to earth character, and I actually enjoyed him quite a lot in this, and I like Spade in general, actually.
Yeah, I think he just brought something to it. I gave it a 4 snowflakes, and I did. I really do like this. I gave it a thumbs up on it, and I gave it a 4. I really do like this.
I'm gonna half you, brother. I'm going to 2, and I'm giving it a 2. It has its moments. Don't get me wrong here. Geoff Pearson is the boss. Even that's very 50-50. Sometimes he's funny. Sometimes the gag doesn't work for me. But yeah, I'm gonna be nice and say 2.
Okay, no, we beg to differ, but that's what this great show is about. We do
absolutely. Sometimes we gotta go old school Siskel and Ebert, and I gotta roll my eyes at you, Ebert.
And I'll Siskel you, so.
I like Ebert a lot, actually. I own some of his books.
So what else we got coming down the pipe, my good man?
Once the picture loads, we're talking Scoob here. Scoob reveals how lifelong friends Scooby and Shaggy first met and how they joined with young detectives Fred, Velma, and Daphne Zoinks to form the famous Mystery Inc. This features the voices of Zac Efron, Mark Wahlberg, and Gina Rodriguez, Will Forte, Jason Isaacs, Amanda Seyfried, Frank Welker, Ken Jeong, and Kiersey Clemens, not Matthew Lillard, who's had it for so many years. Fun fact, I didn't see this yet. I saw a bit of it. I do own it, so I'll probably have it done by next week. But tell me a little bit about Scoob.
Scoob! It's a very, it starts out pretty good. You have, a young Shaggy and a young Scooby when they first meet, and it's just basically they start that in there, and then they show you how they meet Velma, Fred, and Daphne as well in the early part of the film. It does drag just a little in the middle, which I kind of spaced out on. My mom and I watched this together. I actually went over to her house. I said, look, I know you're a shut-in this week. I've been a shut-in. I'm out because of work. Let me just go in and, as I'm on the road, I'll come over and watch it. And she said, sure, we'll watch it. She loved this film. But, and I looked at it as I liked the beginning. The beginning was smooth. It brought me in. It kind of was a very sweet opening. And then it kind of went off rail for a minute or two when they brought in the villains and the Blue Falcon. And I'm probably messing that guy's name up. That's played by Mark Wahlberg. I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, this is going to be rough. But then the last 30 minutes of the movie, it regains its footing, and it brought me back in. You know what I'm saying? It's like the last 35, maybe 40 minutes of the film. So that middle gap of what set the story up really didn't even intrigue me any until they got to the bare bones of the whole deal. There's a few surprises with Tracy Morgan showing as a character. I'm not going to bring that up. But what's great, though, is the extras that you get when you buy this. We did look at some of the extras, and they had a different alternate beginning of what they were going to do with Scoob and how they brought it in. So if you watch the film, that wasn't the original intent at first. Until they looked at it and said, that's a little too schmarmy, even for us. And it was still a sweet opening on both ends. And like I said, it was good. Will Forte's voice as Shaggy. I do wish Matthew Lillard would have been invited because I kind of liked his take on the on the Shaggy character. Fred Welker's character as Scoob is pretty good. Anybody can play Fred. So it was fine. But yeah, all the voice characters were great. Tracy Morgan's character that comes in, I kind of wish they wouldn't have just let Tracy be Tracy in it, because
Is he scrappy? Tell me, come on, is he scrappy?
no, he's not scrappy.
Oh.
I'm not going to bring in. I can tell you what it is, but it's just a nice little cameo by this person. But yeah, but again, they just let Tracy be Tracy. I wish he would have tried to do something like the original character a little
He
bit.
should have voiced Fred. Hey everybody, I'm Fred.
Yeah, that would have been great. But yeah, though, all in all, though, it was still a fun film. Like I said, it did lose me with Dastardly and Muttley and and a few other characters they bring in because he's the villain. And I was just like, well, I don't know. And then, like I said, it started getting better toward the end. So there was a little tiny gap in between, probably about a 10, 15, 20-minute gap that just didn't feel like it should have been there. And it would have been more tight. It would have been tighter of a film. But I still gave it a 3.5. Because it's still entertaining. It was a safe play. But at the end of the day, it was very entertaining. And my mom, she would have given it a 5. But thank God she's not here because that would have just really screwed the ratings up for us. But yeah, 3.5. And again, it might not be as high as some people's books, but like I said, for a possible continuation of a franchise, this is a good relaunch of Scooby-Doo.
Well, no, Ruh-Roh's here. Yeah, my only qualm about the first 30 minutes is I thought we were getting more of a prequel setup, and they're adults within the first 12 minutes. Like, it's 12 minutes of the setup of them as kids, and then it's like, no, never mind, it's a normal episode.
Yeah, and that's what I was hoping. I was hoping they were going to do something like, the Tales of Scooby, a pup named Scooby-Doo.
Dude, I love the pup named Scooby-Doo.
I loved that show as a kid. I wasn't a kid. I was probably like a teenager / almost, I was in high school at the time. But I still love that show, the pup named Scooby-Doo. And, but yeah, so I was hoping they would have used that more often in this film. And then just, then you could have, used the climax a little later. But yeah, like I said, it was 3.5. It's well worth the money to spend because I might watch it again because I was thinking, I got to watch it again. Maybe I was missing something. I might have been too tired. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Because I was just
watch it sometime the next week. We'll discuss it again next week.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. Because, I got it. So why not watch it, right? The next one is, I'm going to give you a little bit of a bad education here, Jordan, just like these kids are getting today during this coronavirus, bad education. But they're going to pass their grades anyway. It doesn't matter. So the film is called Bad Education, by the way.
No, really?
Yeah. Well, people just thought, well, he's just going off. A superintendent of a school district worked for the betterment of the students' education when an embezzlement scheme is discovered threatening to destroy everything. This has Hugh Jackman, Annie, Geraldine Viswanathan, Alex Wolff, Ray Romano, and Raphael Cassell. I think I might have messed that one up, but no, Cassell. I'll go with that. Cassell.
Yeah,
I'll stand by that. So, Jordan, you watch this. This is an HBO. It's out on HBO. You can watch it if it's on HBO. I missed this one completely. This was last year, I think it came out. Tail end or this year? This year? Okay.
No, it just debuted a couple weeks ago. It was a festival movie that HBO picked up, so some people have seen it for about a year now. But no, as for the majority of the audience like me, this debuted about a month or so ago, maybe even less. I'm not sure. So, yeah, check it out. So it was on demand. And, hey, man, Hugh Jackman, you see a smaller part by Ray Romano, Allison Janney, even some other actors you'll see throughout this thing pop up, like, oh, the dude from Rescue Me, oh, the dude from American Vandal. Like, it's got a great cast here. Yeah, it's an interesting tale here of, it's one of those tales of they're not necessarily horrible people. Hugh Jackman's not a monster, but he made some shitty, very selfish decisions on his own right here. And it's fun seeing Jackman in this kind of role here too. It's something a little bit differently, definitely from the rest of the things that we've seen him do for the most part. And I knew we had it in him because we've seen little traces of it here and there in a small scene movie called Butter. He played a kind of a supporting part that was a little more sleazier. So it's fun seeing him in this role here. And yeah, just thought it made sense for HBO. It seemed like one of those kind of, it's a slower plotting movie, kind of like you see with the political movies they do here. So, but I thought it's well written. It keeps you interested. It's a lot about those decisions you make. Geraldine, who's the young lady who just starts off kind of digging around, and she's the one, literally, it's based on a true story of her doing this for like her high school newspaper and it becoming this huge story. She's actually, I think, John Cena's daughter in Blockers. That's the lead actress, and she's quite good in this as well here. So yeah, I dug it. I'm gonna go actually with your numbers from Scoob, 3.5. It's worth checking out. Yeah, I don't know. There's maybe just something. It's one of those HBO movies that it never gets like thrilling by any means. Not that it should be, but I thought it was well worth a watch.
Okay, you know what? Before you change that picture behind you, that picture of Hugh Jackman behind you, I was just thinking this. He looks like a young Frank Sinatra. Why can't he be in a Frank Sinatra biopic? You know, in that one, he looks like a young Frank Sinatra, doesn't he? That?
I don't know about a young Frank Sinatra, but he looks like that aged Frank Sinatra.
Well, you know what I'm saying, though. If you look at his where he gets arrested, there's a famous mugshot of Frank Sinatra. He kind of has that same look. So yeah, he could play a Frank Sinatra maybe in the Rat Pack days. It would be, I think it would be a great little thing to see. You know.
We know he can sing. We know he's charming. So yeah, I mean, I'm down for it, man. Hey, have I ever told you that I love you, stupid?
Oh, thank you, moron.
Oh.
No, but that brings us to our next film. So we're going to intro on that one real quick.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready now. Sorry. I love you, stupid. After Marcos gets dumped by his girlfriend, he attempts to reinvent himself as a modern man with the help of a childhood friend and an online guru. This stars Quim Gutierrez, Natalia Tena, and Alfonso Basalve. I just like that. What's up, man?
Okay, again, Netflix and the romantic comedies, they keep getting them from everywhere around the world. This one is actually from Spain. And compare it to the one that I saw last time from Lima, Peru. This one was great. I enjoyed it. The characterizations, the depth that we went through here. The main leads in this one was Quim Gutierrez and Natalia Tena. And that's the guy in the Game Over shirt, and the girl in the purple hair is the girl behind you. But yeah, those two had some great chemistry throughout the film. The film starts out where he's telling the girl that he's dated for 8 years that he's ready to marry her. He gives her a ring, like a 4-carat diamond, and she basically looks at him and says, "Yeah, no," and then she starts giving all these bad things. Of course, he does look at the camera for on a couple occasions, which I do like if you don't abuse it enough. If you abuse it a lot, it kind of just ruins the whole storytelling. But, it's kind of funny. He's like, well, she's only used 3 of the major 4, like that. And then she goes, well, we could still be friends, right? And he's like, and he just looks at the camera and just deadpans it. To me, it was just great delivery of that scene. And like I said, throughout the film, this character, he tries to rebuild himself, remodel himself after one of his friends who's like Rico Suave, gets all the girls because he's always on all these apps. Like Tinder and Bumblebee and whatever. You name it, he's on every single one of them.
I think it's just Bumble. I don't think it's Bumblebee.
I don't know what it's called. I don't do it. So it should be like this guy. But yeah, and he changes his clothes from basically wearing shirts like this to like regular like Ralph Lauren polos and shirts and jackets and stuff, but instead of just a sweater. But yeah, it's the chemistry alone, the development of the characters. That's what makes this movie charming. Very, very much so. And there's subtle depths to just some of the characters that you see. The guru. I believe he could be Alfonso Basalve. I can't read the cast, the way who they were, but that's pretty sad, isn't it? But yeah, he's like that online, if you Google it, how do I become a man of the 21st century? And all of a sudden it's his video that'll pop up and walk you through of how to become this, and of course, if you stay through the credits, you find out he may not be all that was given the advice that he always said he should have, he's not the one that you should have been listening to all along. But yeah, to me, it was a fun film. I enjoyed it. Again, I'm being very happy with these movies. 4 snowflakes. Loved it. Gave it a thumbs up as well. So they can keep making these things, man. They got to keep making them. But this one's from Spain. So very good effort from Spain. The next one that we're going to go with is, if you're going to murder, you better murder deep, because Deep Murder is the next film, and it's...
Ladies and gentlemen, king of the segways, Dutch Regalos.
You're going to murder, you're doing deep. But, it's set in an alternative reality in which everyone is a cliche from a techie porn film. A group of increasingly self-aware stock characters are up against a mysterious killer, offing them one by one. This has Quinn Beswick, Josh Margolin, Chris Redd, Katie Aselton, Christopher McDonald, Stephanie Drake, and Jerry O'Connell. I think I've seen this. I just don't remember it at all. I mean, I've not seen the movie, but I've seen the preview. So tell me about this, because it does sound interesting.
So yeah, this has been a movie I've thought about checking out here or there, and I always just kind of skipped it by. And then Voodoo, I think it's still actually out there, actually, so I recommend it for you. 99 cents. It's in the 99-cent rental pile. It's not that old of a release. It's only been out for a few months now, so I said, sure, let me throw this in there. I like Chris Redd from SNL, and what was it, the one with Sandberg, Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping. He's funny in that. First thing I saw him in. Good with some O'Connell, Katie Aselton from The League. So I was always kind of intrigued. And yeah, this thing it's not that bad. It's actually better than I thought it would be, because it's got a lot of just kind of visual gags here. There's a great scene with Chris Redd and the detective here, which is Margolin. They're throwing a football. And just the dialogue and the way they're throwing the football, it's very kind of almost airplane-esque. They have a lot of visual gags like that. And I just kind of dug into it here. The setup of the kind of mystery, and then the last bit, it's unfortunately a movie that I thought it almost dragged a little bit, and then the ending didn't really win me over here. I feel like they're setting up something and trying to say something, and then they just kind of falls flat with the conclusion of that. But I actually found myself laughing more than I thought I would. It's a fun little comedy to check out. 3 stars for me. I think it's worth giving a watch. It's a funner than I thought it would be.
Okay, I'll dig it out, because I did remember seeing something about this. I just, how movies, we see so many previews and they just fly by, and it's probably got past my radar when it came out. But yeah, I will get it if it's only 99 cents. You got me back in the you got me in the saddle to watch it. Trust me on that.
You know what one of these characters said at one point in the movie?
What did he say?
They said, "Blow the man down," because that's the name of the next thing we're reviewing.
Yeah, that's a better segue than mine. Good job.
Blow the man down. Mary Beth and Priscilla Connolly attempt to cover up a gruesome run-in with a dangerous man to conceal their crime. The sisters must go deep into the criminal underbelly of their hometown, uncovering the town's darkest secrets. This features Sophie Lowe, Morgan Saylor, Margot Martindale, I like her, Annette O'Toole, and June Squibb, I like her as well.
Yeah, to me, it's a powerful cast. It's mostly dominated by the females. That's why I left off the 2 males that are in it, because they barely show up.
Sexist.
Yeah, I had to be on this one. But yeah, the Connolly sisters are in deep trouble when one murders somebody, and they have to cover up that plot. If you look behind you, they're trying to get rid of the body as we speak. But I got to tell you, it was from the beginning all the way to the end was mesmerizing. It's just a great clinic of acting, everyone's behalf. If you didn't know Annette O'Toole, she's, I've been more familiar with her lately. She is Clark Kent's mother in Smallville, which I've been watching. So yeah, it is a great movie. This is found on Prime, and it is to me a great movie. Like I said, you already know that what's going to happen. It's just, are they going to get caught? How's this town? Why is these ladies in such kind of like in power? Margot Martindale is just mean in this show, and she's the one who runs the town brothel. And we find, whoa, you're upside down. But yeah, and to me, it's just the way they segue into different parts. The dynamics are, the only reason is their mother has passed, and we didn't know, and the whole town, I guess, didn't know that she was the linchpin holding this town together. and then it just falls apart at her death. So yeah, it's well worth the watch. It's an easy watch. It's like an hour and 47 minutes, I think. Very easy, very good, dark, but the performances given by everyone, especially the leads, Sophie Lowe and Morgan Saylor. Like I said, it was just a very powerful film, very fun to watch. And again, I'm cranking them out tonight. Four snowflakes. You know, I don't know if it's because I haven't seen a good movie in a while, or I just want to give out fours tonight. I don't know, but this movie, well worth the while. Blow the Man Down. And it's weird because it opens up. You know, I knew I was going to like this movie when it opens up with a sailor, you know, from one of the fishing boats, starting singing, you know, the Blow the Man Down theme song. You know, and then as they're disposing the body, there's another chorus of another sea song being sung, and I'm like, this is just so good. So watch it and enjoy it because it is well worth the watch on Prime. Blow the Man Down.
Very nice, man. Yeah. Next up, tell me about the movie I saw.
The movie you saw is a movie I didn't have a chance to look for, but give me just a second as I pull it up, because today is your lucky day, my friend, because Lucky Day is the movie, and it's Red, a safecracker who has just been released from prison, is trying to hold his family together as his past choices, or his past catches up to him in a form of Luke, a psychopathic contract killer who's seeking revenge in the line for the death of his brother. This has Luke, Bracey, Crispin Glover, where's he been? Nina Dobrev, Clifton Collins Jr., David Hewlett, Clyde Bennett, and Mark. I'm going to really butcher this, but it's going to be DeCassius.
Oh. A whole other like set of verbs and stuff. I'm not sure. It's like Dacoscus. You got it like extra, like we went to Costa Casco for sure.
I usually do. When I'm going to butcher a name, I just add other syllables. So
you let the person know how you spell banana. BANANANANANA. So I checked this out just last night, I think, actually. It was co-written by Roger and directed by Roger Avery, who co-wrote Pulp Fiction. And you can tell that this is kind of in that vein. It's very R-rated, very violent, almost to the point where, you know, not that I'm against violence, but when it's just kind of done senselessly and then that's all they have to say about it, it's not really for a rhyme or a reason. It throws me off a little bit, to be honest with you here. Crispin Glover is having some fun here. You find out that his French character is not French, that he's just a mad guy that thinks he's French. That's how crazy he is. He just thinks he's French. And Luke Bracey does really good as kind of our leading character here. But one thing is it jumbles too much. You don't spend enough time with Luke Bracey to an extent. His best friend, Clay Bennett, there's like 2 scenes devoted to that. So when the conclusion of that arc ends, you're not as motivated or as felt by it as you should be here. And it's also got one of those great things where Crispin Glover just kills on sight, except for the very end when he has his foe, and it's just a lot of talking. And you think, like, since when? Like, this is not how that character goes, but just ways for him to not die quickly because you got to expand the runtime of the movie here. And I think, unfortunately, the dialogue here, I think he thinks it's quippier and more interesting than it really is. It just has those kind of nonsensical ways that just, you know, what are they saying here? You know, I don't know. This thing didn't win me over too much in the end. It has its moments. It's right to kind of smack them in the middle again. It's 2.5 stars for me. It wasn't my lucky day for Lucky Day, which I don't even think is a great title for this either.
No, it's not lucky when you have a sociopathic killer gonna go kill you, and he thinks he's French and he's not. So that's amazing. But the next film we both saw, I don't know if it's a film, it's a television show, but it's also a film television show. It's a made-for-movie. It's a movie.
It's an interactive special, my friend.
Oh, that's what they call it. Yes, because we don't want to get sued. This Choose Your Own Adventures. It is not. So anyway, this one is Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Kimmy versus the Reverend John Hamm. My God, he's such a handsome man, isn't he?
Yes, Kim is a famous author, and she's about to marry a prince played by Danny Radcliffe. But first, she has to foil the Reverend's evil plot. It's your move. What should Kimmy do next? This features, of course, Ellie Kemper, Titus Burgess, Jane Krakowski, Carol Kane, John Hamm, Daniel Radcliffe, and Chris Parnell, amongst a few other cameos here. So yeah, I know I was a fan for sure of the Black Mirror special from, I believe, last year. Was it Bandersnatch? Bandersnatch? Am I making that up?
Yeah, it was like Bandersnatch. It might have been like a year before, but because it was new.
Okay.
It was new. Yeah.
I just know even when I talked about that movie, I was like, I hope they keep doing this, whether it's horror or comedy, and now we're finally getting a follow-up of sorts in a comedy form here. And it's an IP we know, it's an IP I really like, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Ellie Kemper's so funny in this here too, and surrounded by a cast that's just, you talk about the wrong Missy cast. This is a cast that's here to play. Absolutely love John Hamm. The best moment is probably this scene right here, and even the later scenes between him and her. I know we both said there's a scene towards the end, won't give out spoilers, but we both did multiple options, and it brought us to a very funny scene with John Hamm and a puppet. So see if you can find that scene. So I had fun with this. It's not the tightest script for me. It's definitely not the funniest Kimmy adventure we've seen, because I feel like they are going with the choose your own thing here. And the other thing too is, for me, I played around with it actually. I went back and I did different choices here, and sometimes it matters. So sometimes it doesn't. There's more than once where they're like, nah, go back. You made the wrong decision. So I was like, all right. So I was even a point where early on it says, who do you want to bring along, Titus or Jane Krakowski? Well, you got to choose the one they want you to choose, because otherwise they're just going to send you back. So it really didn't matter who you picked. But yeah, I had fun though, man. I like things like this. It's different. Give me more things like this, very much. Next up, I want to see a horror one. That's the one I want to see.
That would be, because
who I can't save.
I look at it this way: if we can have a horror film, and the option is, can I just go home and see the credits? Because there's a way that I don't want to be a part of this. I'm going home.
Get in car, take vacation away from the murderous town.
I'm just gonna jump in everyone else leave them behind. Screw them. I'm done with them. But no, this one it was an interesting premise. I did take, I think, a long way around in this episode because I guess I made a lot of poor choices right off the bat because a lot of things were happening, and then they kept going, no, do it again. Then they go, no, do it again. And I was like, come on, there's only 3 choices. How can I be wrong 2 times? And I was.
You're not supposed to make out. You're supposed to plan the wedding.
Yeah, I was not trying to, screw it up. I was like, I want to read the book, or I want to do this, or, But yeah, Daniel Radcliffe though is hilarious. If you get to the one scene, I don't know if you got to that scene where him and Carol Kane's character wind up married. I just love Daniel Radcliffe. Anyway, he's a great comedic actor.
Did you see the one where he ends up with like a clone Kimmy?
Yes, I saw that one too. But no, I think though he is, to me, a very underrated comedic actor. Daniel Radcliffe is, and he's a very good serious actor, great comedic actor.
He's quite funny on that show. You ever seen that show on TBS with Steve Buscemi? Or is it about Heaven? He's good in that.
I've seen the episode previews. I've just never seen it. Like I said, I don't have, cable. So I'll have to wait for it to come somewhere where I can grab hold of it. But yeah, I think to me, it was just fun to watch. I enjoyed it. Hey, you got a bunny? Is that a bunny?
It's a unicorn.
Oh, it's a unicorn. Like my shirt. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a unicorn. Fabulous unicorn. I'm glad we're
from your shirt.
We're both masculine men who love unicorns. But yeah, I got to tell you though, like I said, I enjoy John Hamm in anything he does. And of course, him as the Reverend Dick Wayne, it's just unbelievably funny. I gave this, believe it or not, though, I kind of went down for my 4s, 3.5. How's that sound? 3.5. I couldn't give it a 4, but 3.5 is good enough for me.
I'm 100% with you. That's what I gave it. I gave it 3.5. I think it's well worth it. It's fun. I think it's interesting choosing, the different things, seeing where they lead. Okay, for instance, when you're Krakowski, did you meet up with Heidi Gardner, the wardrobe lady? Did you talk to the script guy, Zach Orth?
I went with I think I went the other way. I went with the wardrobe.
Okay, there's a whole separate thing with the script guy.
Okay, I got to look at that one then. I got to take a peek. But so it'll be interesting. Like I said, this is one that you can play around with for at least maybe 1 or 2 times, just to make sure that
that's pretty much what I did.
Yeah. So this was the toughest list. We're going to the list now. The toughest list that I think we've ever made for this show. I don't know. You could agree or disagree, but there's so many movies I had to leave off the list that I was like, I want to squeeze it in there, but I just can't. And it's the top 10 Bill Murray films. And I am truly a Bill Murray fan. I love Bill Murray. Anything that he does, he could just walk on and anything. And it could be there for 5 seconds, and to me, it's a magic moment.
He might have been here tonight.
Let's hope. Is he? Damn you! But yeah, he to me, he is just a great wit, a comedic. He just, I don't know. There's something about him that's made him transcend so many generations. And I like how he can make fun of himself for Garfield, even though I hear that's on your top 5. But yeah, I just thought it was just a great. He plays just a lot of range and great characters, and we may overlap in this, we may not. I don't know. It all depends. My generation, your generation, totally different vibes, but we'll see. So I'll go first with my top, 10 to 6. I'm just going to throw one in there, 11, just because I had no choice. I know I wanted to do it, but the one that just couldn't get in the top 10, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. But my number 10, Meatballs. Number 9, The Dead Don't Die. The number 8, Broken Flowers. Number 7, Rushmore. And number 6, Caddyshack. And my number 5, I just love it, Stripes. It's just a fun, Harold Ramsey's in it, along with John Candy, and I think Judge Reinhold's in it. To me, it's just a guy who basically has to join the Army because he thought he can pick up chicks and be cool. And it's just him getting through boot camp and then all of a sudden becoming the hero that he didn't think that he would be. But yeah, to me, that is my top 6 and 5, I guess. So there you go. Stripes is my number 5.
So far, we only have one overlap. Not overlap, but one thing out of the first 5.
Ooh.
Only one.
That'll be interesting.
Actually, in a way, we do have a small overlap. My number, if I had to pick the throw in 11, I'd probably go with Steve Zissou as well. That's just a little bit outside my list. My number 10 is Quick Change. Now, my number 9 is Rushmore. My number 8 is The Man Who Knew Too Little. I got a feeling you're talking about that later. Number 7 is Lost in Translation. Number 6 is Scrooged. You might talk about that later. I don't know. My number 5 is actually going to be Get Low with Robert Duvall from a few years ago.
Wow.
I really like this, man. Great character piece here. One of the slower ones here, but it's great seeing him get a role, the last few years that just that really worked out well here. He's kind of the heart of this movie as well. Not the last time he'll be the heart here. And yeah, I really like this movie, actually.
No, see, I don't have that on my list. And unfortunately, I don't have Scrooged. I couldn't figure out where I wanted to put that in there because I was looking at, I love it because him and Carol Kane's character is, where they go at it, is a great fight scene. But yeah, I was looking at everything on here. Broken Flowers, I know you don't really care for that much. I enjoyed it. It was in my top of the decade, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, I was afraid you were going to talk about that.
But no, I did put that in. But again, it was a brief top 10 one. My number 4, and you better have it somewhere on your list, but because Groundhog Day is number 4 on my list. I just love it. I have seen it it seems like I've seen it about 100 times. It's probably a lot less, but I know, just as soon as you hear Sonny and Shiz, I Got You, Babe, it just brings me back to that movie every time. And I just laugh and I chuckle, and Ned Ryerson, Needle Nose Ned, and just Chris Elliott as well, and Andy McDowell. It's a great comedy, great romantic comedy as well, and it's just a fun, I use that word a lot. I know I do, fun, but it is, and I enjoy just the delivery of the characters. I don't know how long he was there. He had to have been there for at least about 100 years because to be able to master the piano, to master ice sculpture, to match, this, and get ringside WrestleMania tickets. How does this man get that connected? That's what I want to know. I know he's the weatherman, but I don't know how he can get WrestleMania ringside. Woo! I don't know. But what do you got for your number four, my good boy?
My number four, a shout out to some other films that he's great in smaller parts as well. I try not to include too many co-starring parts here. This one it's a great eclectic ensemble though here. He's no more a co-star as much as anyone. That's Moonrise Kingdom. He's made, you mentioned Steve Caesar before, several films with was it Wes Anderson that have been all pretty good. Even the worst film with Anderson and Murray is still really good in my opinion here. And I love Moonrise Kingdom here. He plays a really nice part as well. So yeah, I had to include this because I love this movie so much.
I love that movie too, and I took that into consideration of what you were just telling me. He wasn't a huge part of the film. He was good in the movie. I thought, okay, let me just push that one to the, because that was going to be in my at least top 5, and I thought, well, I got to push it away. I got to push that away. I want to get him where he's like the star, or try to get there to where he's the star. But no, I don't qualm you. There's no qualms at all with that because I love that movie as well. My number 3, it's been documented on Netflix as the movies that made us. It's Ghostbusters. Peter Venkman is the greatest, skirt chaser, ghost hunter you've ever seen in your life. Forced to be a ghost hunter. And there he is right there in the middle, crossing his, it looks like he's crossing right there in probably the ballroom scene. But yeah, to me, when he got slimed, his iconic, he slimed me, and I don't know, just for some reason I don't know, Ghostbusters is an unbelievable film. It's again, a Harold Ramsey film in which, no bounds. Again, with Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson and Annie Potts and give me the guy's name from Honey, I Love the Kid. I just went blank.
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis, great comedic minds. Sigourney Weaver as well. In a part, who knew if she really wanted it or not, but she did it. I couldn't remember what they said in that film, but yeah, it was part of my childhood, and I loved every ounce, and I still watch it to this day.
Very nice, my man. Very nice. My number 3 here, maybe, I don't know if it's going to be a shocker as well. It's another recent-ish. I told you I just bought it for $1. The dollar turned out too long ago. It's St. Vincent. Him and who knew would be kind of his replacement in a way for one movie, Melissa McCarthy in the Ghostbusters franchise. It gets a little schmaltzy towards the end, but this movie is the kind of movie that earns it, man. I mean, you have such a stand-up and thrill towards the end of that movie here. Again, I think Melissa McCarthy is a great example of someone like Bill Murray who can just score in pretty much anything she's given, comedy, drama, and they elevated this movie to where I think if other actors were in this, I don't know if it would have it in a top 10. But because these people are in it, this thing just gets elevated so much. I think it's a really sweet, wonderful film.
Yeah, I was torn with that film. I like it. I really do love it. It's just, I couldn't put in the top 10 right now because there's so many that I love. But yeah, I agree with you. Given the right material, Melissa McCarthy is great. And this is one of those films that showed that she could be good and great. My number 2, you mentioned it earlier, The Man Who Knew Too Little. My favorite. I will watch this until the day I die. I hope if I'm in the nursing home, somebody wheels it in and says, "Here, Mr. Ballard, one of the last films you could watch." This will be one of the ones that I really will watch.
I'll make sure for you. Right before I put the pillow over your face, Dutch, I'll go watch The Man Who Knew Too Little.
Well, at least you could do that. Well, let me watch my number 1 on this list too.
Oh, okay.
Before we go, but yeah,
You're a greedy, dying man, but whatever.
But yeah, Peter Gallagher plays his brother, and they couldn't be more polar opposites. One's a freewheeling spirit, the other one is just praying he doesn't lose his job over this, over his brother visiting. And in the Russian scheme of things, of them blowing up, the peace talks, is just hilarity that just ensues, and mistaken identity. This is what most comedies are about: mistaken identity, and a guy who doesn't even know that he's mistaken in the identity. He's just playing along like it's something that he should be knowing as an improv actor. So, yeah, he works for Blockbuster, Des Moines, Iowa. So, love that. That's my favorite. I've said that quote so many times to you. It's sad. What's your number 2? I just laughed just thinking about the fucking movie.
My number 2 is a movie you've talked about already. It's Ghostbusters, baby. I mean, there's a reason that we still want like a real third one from 1980 something was number 2, right? And it's not even the 90s; it's 80 something, right?
No, the first one was in 85. I think 84, 85.
What's the second one?
About 89-ish.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I was saying. The fact that we still want a third one from these first 2 that came out in the 80s shows something. It shows you how much this thing is it's funny, it's inventive, it's unique, and again, just something that's elevated because of Bill Murray here, man. And just it's wonderful. It holds up. It's not necessarily even from directly my generation. It's a few years before, but still something I kind of grew up with. And yeah, number 2 is Ghostbusters, and rightfully so.
The number one slot. Can you figure out what number 1 it is yet? Can we figure it out? Anybody?
I'm actually not sure, to be honest with you.
Ooh, this is a good one. This is one of my all-time favorite Bill Murray films. To this day, I quote it a lot. I don't know if you've heard me quote. I probably have quoted it around you. I baby step a lot.
With Casbah?
No. This is
What About
Bob? What About Bob? I love that film. They're coming out with Pops, my friend, and I will get all 3 of the What About Bob Pops. And it's just Richard Dreyfuss and him just have a great rapport. Richard Dreyfuss is his psychiatrist, and he's going to go away for vacation for that week. And he says, Bob, hey, you should take a vacation too. And so he gives him his book, Baby Steps. And so he puts his fish in a jar and he goes off on vacation. Well, he goes to where Richard Dreyfuss is having his family vacation. He has his house out there. And so this is when a patient oversteps his bounds with his psychiatrist. There's a great scene toward the end. It's like, where he shoves Bob out the door and slams him. And he goes, why did you throw out Bob? And he goes, you think he's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone. And he opens it up. And Bill Murray's sitting there like, is this some kind of radical new therapy? And he slams, you see? And it's just, that to me is one of the funniest scenes. Besides him being tied to the mast, saying, I'm sailing. Just keep sailing, Bob. It's just funny. I put this up. You ever say sailing movies? It would go Master Commander, Captain Ron, and What About Bob? Because there's sailing scenes. But, that sailing scene alone is worth the trip. So, yes, watch it. What About Bob? My favorite Bill Murray film.
I saw the majority of it recently, but I don't know if I've ever seen it from beginning to end, at least not anytime soon, where I wasn't 100% sure to put it on this list.
You should watch it. Just digest it. I think I own it, but you still have some of my movies that you've seen that you haven't watched yet on DVD. So
I'll get to what do I have from John Candy? Volunteers?
You watched that, I thought. I thought you finally saw that.
No, I started it and then I just did something else.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's a Tom Hanks film, man. Anyway, go ahead. Tell me what your number 1 film is, good man.
My number 1, you've talked about it already. It's Groundhog's Day, man. Of course it's on my list, man. I love this movie. I love this movie here. This to me, this is so up my alley here because you have the laughs, the emotion, a unique premise that has been done a million times after, never quite as good. Netflix does it about once a month. They seem to have a movie where it's all about having the same day again. So obviously we love this premise here. And yeah, just, like you said, I mean, the romantic relationship, the building of a character here. And again, maybe it's a different actor. I still think we liked it and it would have been talked about, but because of Bill Murray, we're still talking about a 1993 movie in 2020, and we'll probably continue to talk about it. Groundhog's Day is, I wouldn't say it's by far my number 1, but I just love this movie so much. It's in my top 10 and several lists. Groundhog's Day, baby, each and every day. And funny enough, it's also a repetitive film, or it's a good repeat watch, rather. How's this?
I own it on DVD and I own it on digital. And I just bought it on digital, I think, the UHD version. for like $7.99. I thought I will buy it. It's UHD. It's the best you can get right now. And I got like I said, I got the regular DVD and I got that. So I'm set for any scenario that I may lose or may get. But yeah, oh my God, Bill Murray is just a treasure, and we will be lost without him. Heaven forbid something bad should ever happen.
Don't jinx it.
Huh? No, I'm just hoping that Carrot Top goes first. Anyway, so let's go over our top 10, if we will. My 10 to 6. Well, I'll just give you my top 10. Let's just do that real quick. Meatballs, number 9, The Dead Don't Die. Broken Flowers. Rushmore, number 6 is Caddyshack. Number 5, Stripes. Number 4, Groundhog Day. Number 3, Ghostbusters. Number 2, The Man Who Knew Too Little. And number 1, What About Bob?
You like The Dead Don't Die that much?
I do. I thought his performance in that film was awesome.
He's the best part, yeah, not surprisingly. My top 10, Bill Murray, is number 10, Quick Change. Number 9, Rushmore. Number 8, The Man Who Knew Too Little. Number 7, Lost in Translation. Number 6, Scrooge. Number 5, Get Low. 4, Moonrise Kingdom. 3, St. Vincent. 2, Ghostbusters. And number 1 for me is Groundhog's Day. And number 1 for me is Groundhog's Day. And number 1 for me. Shit,
let me think. Groundhog's Day?
No, it's
Hey, you know what? Though? Hey, if it comes to town, if we can, I don't know if it's going to come to town or if it comes nearby. We should go try to see it. Groundhog's Day, the Broadway show.
That's a thing?
That is a thing. Groundhog's Day, Broadway. I would love to go watch it. So if we ever get a chance, well, I'm in. So, I hear Ned has a bigger part.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think he does. I'm just messing with you.
Stephen Tobolowsky.
Yeah, he has a great song about insurance. Oh, kids, you know what time it is? It's that time for my favorite time of the night. News and the notable stuff. Yes, it's news and notable stuff. Breaking news. And here is Jordan Owens.
Well, in a world of movies being pushed back, here's some good, at least hopeful news. Movies being pushed up. Unhinged. The trailer just came out with Russell Crowe, where it looks like he did not do any dieting for this movie. Good job, brother. He followed my dieting plan for this movie.
You went with mine, too. I was thinking.
Yeah, me and Dutch were on set, like, put down that handlebar. Here's a Milky Way. It was scheduled for September. They now moved it up to the hopeful date of July 1st, hoping it'll be one of the first movies back in theaters. Stuff is slowly trickling opening. I know in Fort Myers and even now in Naples, comedy clubs are opening up a little bit. So hopefully cinemas by July. So that's what they're going with right now. Might be seeing Russell Crowe in a murder spree come July 1st.
Yeah, you know what? That trailer, I was like watching it. I was like, woo! They ain't stopping anything with Russell Crowe. I mean, he's just murdering people left and right, it looks like, in this trailer. And I'm like, all she had to do was say sorry. That's all she had to do to stop all this stuff. No, she was stubborn.
That's why whenever whenever I go to honk in traffic, I always think like, am I just gonna be the one wrong guy, the wrong day?
Well, and the worst part is, even in the trailer, they gave away a whole bunch of this movie, but I will watch it, and you will watch it, because we are just that kind of person. But I loved how he goes, this is the polite way to honk, 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 like that. Yeah. And then, tell your mama to apologize. I ain't gonna apologize. Woman, just apologize and be sincere for 5 seconds, okay? Just say I apologize. Look what happens. You got an angry Russell Crowe looking like he's going after an eclair. Jesus.
A little too much of the trailer. I think my poor boy Jimmy Simpson at the diner. I don't think he's gonna make it out of the diner.
No, he's not.
Room 104 on I think HBO is gonna have its 4th and final season, premiering Friday, July 24th. This will feature this is an anthology series, so each episode different cast. This season you'll have Dave Bautista, Kevin Nealon, Jillian Bell, Ron Funches, and for the first time, the creator and producer, Mark Duplass, will be in it as well. This is a wacky-ass show, dude. Have you seen Room 104?
I have never seen it. What is it on?
Like I said, I think HBO, if not Showtime. No, it's HBO. I'm like 90% sure. It's on HBO. It's, like I said, it's season 4 now. It's going to be the final season. Dude, I'll tell you some of the plots off air if you want, because it's a mixed bag for me. Some are so overly artistic. Like there's one episode that's all music. There's other episodes that have to do with like science fiction or it's just about relationships. Like they'll go all over the place, and then sometimes it goes off the rails, off the country, off the planet. They got some crazy stories in this thing.
Well, you just told me the cast that's coming out in these episodes. And I got to tell you, I might just I don't know. I might just subscribe to watch the last season because it sounds like a heck of a bunch of great heavy hitters.
It is, man, and even in the past, I'm trying to think of some of the people from the past. I mean, they've had some great people in this. James Vanderbeek had a fun episode. There's just so many great character actors that have popped up in this thing beforehand too. And yeah, like I said, some don't always win you over, but I don't think I've ever walked away going like. I've at least walked away going, well, that was interesting. That was something. It's an interesting show. Another show not getting picked up. Tell Me a Story has been canceled with the 2 seasons on CBS All Access. So goodbye to that one. I've been meaning to check that out here while I had All Access. I canceled it though, so I'll wait for Twilight Zone's back. Maybe I'll check out the 2 seasons of that one. The filmed version of Hamilton has been fast-tracked, originally set to be released in theaters on October 15th of next year, and will now debut on Disney Plus on July 3rd. This is, of course, a very famous play created by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and this is a version featuring Lin-Manuel Miranda, Daveed Diggs, Renee Goldsberry, Leslie Odom Jr., and more. I've never had tickets to see this thing, so I look forward to seeing this on Disney Plus.
We would not be able to. We wouldn't afford it. We couldn't afford it. And
I know I wasn't going to afford Leslie. I know I wasn't going to afford Lin-Manuel Miranda, but I know if you never saw it at all, and even like other casts.
No, I wanted to see it. Unfortunately, the Aviator got to see it as well. I got to see it while I was in town. But yeah, this is the Broadway show being recorded anyway, so it's not like it's on the play stage, and I can't wait to watch this. And it's a great timing for July 4th weekend, so we'll all be able to watch it and celebrate Hamilton. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Obviously, we've all heard good things about it. I've got a story for you, my friend. I only included this because you're here. Kevin Hart and Tim Story, the director of Ride Along 1 and 2, have teamed up for not Ride Along 3. It's called Night Wolf. I know. I'm sorry, man. I know you want that Ride Along 3.
I want Ride Along 3.
This might lean into it. This has an interesting plot, though. It's got to do, actually, in the world of superheroes. So, it might be an interesting one, and maybe we'll lead to Ride Along 3.
Yeah, I'm hoping Ride Along 3. I'm the only one who probably has been champion for a Ride Along 3. But
I'm not against it, but I'm not exactly losing sleep at night.
You gotta put the trilogy. Finish up the trilogy, and we can be fine. It was born to be a trilogy. Ice Cube is even at home saying, "I need a trilogy. This is my trilogy, not Anaconda." So
I think there's like 4 of those actually.
Yeah, but he's only in, I think, what, 2 or 1 or something like those. I don't know.
Oh, Ice Cube, he's only in the first one.
Oh, okay. So he's only in 1. See, this is his time to get a trilogy. I don't remember him being in part 2, but who knows? He might have showed up in part 2.
That Triple X, he's in Triple X 2 and 3.
Oh, was he? Well, he wasn't in the first one. That was that Vin Diesel dude. So.
Here's a fun one. Not a fun one. It's actually about a very sad show. 13 Reasons Why will have its 4th and final season premiering June 5th on Netflix. I only say fun one because, to be honest with you, I think we both really liked season 1, and then 2 it lost me. I didn't know they had a 3. So
this time it's filmed in front of a live studio audience.
It's just a sitcom now?
Yeah, they made it a sitcom, a 30-minute sitcom.
So yeah, it's finally ending here now. Yeah, like I said, kind of a sad one because I love that first one, and I just felt like it kept going for the sake of the first one had great ratings. And like I said, I legit didn't even know there was a 3rd season, and now we're getting a 4th.
Well, I knew there was a 2nd. I heard there was a 3rd, but I thought that was it. But I guess there's a 4th. So be the dead horse. I don't know. I have no puns intended on that one.
CBS has given series orders to some interesting new shows. You have the Silence of the Lambs sequel called Clarice. Hello, Clarice. Thomas Middleditch from Silicon Valley has a new comedy called Be Positive. And have you read about these shows yet?
I knew about the Star Trek one they were talking about.
I didn't even see that one.
Yeah, they just signed a new Star Trek one for Access. So there's like 4 different Star Trek
That's
shows.
Access. I'm talking about CBS, the real
Oh,
CBS. I
oh,
shake hands.
the real CBS is Access because that's where all the good shows are.
They got like 2 of them. And finally, the Equalizer reboot, starring. Can you guess who stars in this?
Okay, it's not Denzel. Hold on. Can you give me a hint for? Is it a male or a female lead?
Female. Good job on
I'm thinking because people like to Tiffany Haddish.
She ready to kill. She ready. No, I would not be. I don't even know I would make notes about it if that was her. She was.
No, who is it? I had a feeling they would go the opposite way than what we're used to.
Queen Latifah, my friend.
You know what? You know what's hilarious? I was thinking, who is funnier to say, Tiffany Haddish or Queen Latifah? And I was like, Queen Latifah is too old.
Denzel's older. All you gotta do is have vengeance and.
Yeah, but the last time I saw Queen Latifah, she was not in great shape. I mean, if you watch Hollywood, she's still a little big, and I don't know, maybe she's going to get in shape.
She's not going to run to kill the guy. She's going to walk and slowly kill the guy. Like, whatever, man. Let her kill people. I'm not body shaming Queen Latifah. Good for her for getting this job. I do like Queen Latifah, though. Let me put up my favorite background now. Dave.
Shit, I hate that. I hate that. Like your brother, I hate it.
Dave has been renewed for season 2. It scored big ratings and was actually the most watched comedy series ever on FX. So obviously, I didn't even know that until reading this article. But not a surprise here. I reviewed Dave on this show. I was the only one of the 3 that saw it. I enjoyed it and very much looking forward to season 2. Those 10 episodes, delectable. Looking forward to the story continuing. I
think, the reason why it actually helps is because it's now on Hulu as well. So people could watch it and enjoy it as well. I think that's what's great about Hulu is that FX and Hulu, even though they're all the same company, they're allowing those shows to be shown almost instantaneously instead of having, remember, whenever they first ever had them, they would hold them for like about a year before they let them have them again. So it's almost like the next day it's there, which is so much nicer to watch.
Right on, man. Right on. Another funny show has been renewed. Bob's Burgers has been renewed for season 11. By the way, time has flied. Bob's Burgers in the double digits.
I've only seen 3 episodes.
Oh, really? Oh, you're not a Burgers fan? I love that show. I probably have seen only half. I don't always have time these last few years, but it's a really good show.
Oh, okay. Well, the 3 episodes I saw, the ones that I saw, I think one was a Halloween edition and some of the else. But an anniversary where she lost her wedding ring at a water park or something. So I thought those were funny episodes that I saw. But like I said, I have never really watched the whole season.
Before I get to the final news, which is a couple of tributes that we have to have, anything you got, Dutch? I've been looking all over the place. I don't know if it's been renewed or not, which I really do want, and I'm just going to throw it out there in the atmosphere. The Rookie needs to be renewed with Nathan Fillion. It's just sitting out there. It had a great season finale, and you can't leave that season finale the way you left it. If you're going to, you cannot. So if anybody wants to pick this up, if ABC drops the ball, somebody else needs to pick it up and run with it. Because to me, it's just... We're looking at you, Hulu.
Well, Hulu's owned by ABC, so God knows, but Hulu could resuscitate a show. But I'm thinking Netflix, maybe Prime. It's just great procedural, and, it's just a good show all around. And, of course, I'm a big Nathan Fillion fan, and he deserves better. Deserves better than not getting a 3rd season. At least a 3rd season wrap-up, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it's a show I fell off on, not for any bad reason. I just one of those things. But what I saw, I liked. I think he's great in it. It had a nice little developing story there. So
it has a great cast. Well worth a watch. Anyway, let's get into this because I don't have anything huge, but you have some disappointing news for us fans out there.
Yeah, man. This week, in fact, today we found out about another one. But first off, Jerry Stiller has passed away at the age of 92. Longtime funny man, married to and Mira for about 62 years. They were together with, and of course, their son, the famous Ben Stiller. You've seen him in movies like Taking Pelham 123, Hairspray, Zoolander, and of course, the very funny dad. And not only Seinfeld, but from this picture, I had to talk about the King of Queens, man. This was a constant watch in my house here all the time. In fact, me and my brother on this show just joked about how the Peacock app, as soon as it debuted, all the choices we had, boom, let's watch some King of Queens reruns. And in fact, I was talking to him about this briefly. I think he had watched it even more when he had found out the news of Jerry Stiller here. So, nice long life here, man. 92, wife of over 60 years, a son who's going to be a legend as well here. He'll be missed, Jerry Stiller.
My favorite thing was him on Seinfeld, of course. He's the reason why, Festivus is around. It's
Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah, and he's also another reason why Serenity Now was huge. Because everyone was Serenity Now, and that was, of course, passed on to Jason Alexander's character as well. So yeah, Serenity Now and Festivus, I think I credit to Jerry Stiller. And it's just he was a great comedic timing actor, yeah, he will be missed because I think he was funnier than his son. He's funnier than his son, and
What are you going to say? But all right.
To me, it's just no. It's not a motor. It's just because I just think he had a lot more time to develop and hone his skills than what Ben has been able to do. I think Ben's more of an actor, where this guy, his father was in front of people, vaudeville and other things, who developed his act that way. So it's totally different, but he will be missed.
Absolutely. And then one more breaking actually earlier today, as I was doing some of these picture notes, unfortunately saw this in the news, so definitely had to throw this in there. Fred Willard has passed away now at the age of 86. Again, so many things. I could be here all day if I listen to his credits. Starting off with this is Spinal Tap, Best in Show. He was in all the Christopher Guest movies, always funny, for your consideration as well. Anchorman, recently he was on Modern Family. In fact, his character actually, in a very sad, emotional episode, passed away actually this season on Modern Family. And then literally months after that airing, we lost him in real life. He's even in the upcoming, we're still going to see him. He's in the upcoming Steve Carell Space Force.
Oh, yeah.
Next on Netflix. So, we still got more Fred Willard coming along. I don't know if he filmed anything else, but we got at least that coming up in the next couple of weeks. So, yeah, Fred Willard, again, guy that just popped up in so many things. The Third, American Pie. Like I said, he could be here all day with his guest appearances. Just again, another really, every time he popped up, man, it was a welcomed addition. Fred Willard in any sitcom, any movie here. Harold and Kumar, just so many lists.
I agree. He was very shiny. He was like a bright sunshine of light, whenever he came on screen. Because I wanted to know what he was going to do next. He was a great improv actor, and if you ever watched him, even on what was it? He did bits on Jay Leno. He did bits on here and there as a professor or something. He would just riff, and throw whoever was on the other side off. And to me, it was just that's talent when you can just riff and be as funny as he was consistently. And it's just it's a shame again, and I will miss him. I will miss him because he was fun. Best in Show is fun. That's it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you said with the improv here too. I mean, he was in a lot of those Christopher Guest movies here, and every time he popped up, a tremendous comedic delight. Alrighty, my man. Well, that is a show about shows this week. We talked some Murray, we talked some Scoob, some RIPs here.
We talked about a lot of good things, a lot of sweet things as well. Bill Murray, I love Bill Murray. And we went out on comedians who have passed, but again, that's what helps. Comedy helps us during times like this. When we lose our comedians, we can find things to watch them to make us laugh once again. So yeah, I am. We'll miss those two. And like I said, I am just thrilled that we finally did a Bill Murray list. Thinking back, I'm just happy. So Woo! Who's our next top 10? I don't even know yet. Do we know yet?
No, we never know. We always discuss it like 3 days before.
How about top 10 Shirley Temple films?
I don't think I have a top 2.
I couldn't even name one. Probably Good Ship Lollipop. I don't know.
I don't know. So will come out tomorrow.
No, that's Annie. That was nothing to do with Shirley Temple.
Oh. Well, that shows you have a top 0.
Okay, boss man. I am so happy we got to do this again this week. Another day, another drawing of breath. So thank you, and good night, everybody, or good afternoon, or whenever you're listening to this. I'm Dutch McAllister.
I'm JPL. Say thank you for watching the show about shows. Like, subscribe, favorite it. Tell your mother, tell your father, hide your sister, hide your wives.
And tell Oprah that we want her on this show.
She ain't ready. She ain't ready.
Okay, Tiffany Haddish. We'll take her.
No.
And now for a surprise guest.